Welcome to another episode of Core Recaps. I'm Legacy.
And I'm Max.
I'm Bobby.
Vitamin J.
All right, thank you all for coming in and tuning in. We're here for another weekly NFL recap, recapping week 2. Do want to say thank you to all the people who have watched. Thank you to our subscribers. Please like, share, comment. Thank you for the 12 comments we got on our last video. It's been great. All right, so like I said, we're here for NFL recaps. We're going to start the show the only way we know how to with we're still working on the name, whether it's Kitty's Corner or Kitten's Cradle. We are going to have our Panthers fans discuss their week this week.
Game on Sunday provides some very interesting stats on Matt Rule's tenure as Panthers coach. None of them good. First of all, the Panthers have had the lead now in 17 of the last 19 games. I know what some people are thinking. Bobby, isn't that a good thing to have the lead in 17 of 19 games? It is if you win them. They have only won 5 of those 17 games they had a lead in.
And they have they had the second. That's the second most games in the lead. I think only the Chiefs are ahead of them, and obviously the Chiefs' record's much better. He has played 16 teams with winning records, and he has 2-14 in those games. He only beat the Saints and the Cardinals, and those are both last year.
And the Cardinals didn't have their starting quarterback.
Yeah. Their offenses have averaged 21.9 in 2020, 17.9 in 2021, and 20 for this year. So, and these are all obviously not good because the average NFL score is I think we said 22.8 or 23.8, something like that. They're scoring well below that.
And then to make matters worse, if a team scores 17 or more points against the Panthers, 17 below league average, they will almost automatically beat the Panthers. Panthers are 1 and 25 now?
Mm-hmm.
1 and 25 under Matt Rule when a team scores just 17 or more points.
What is the league average, by the way?
So, I don't know if that just speaks to negatively how bad Matt Rule is as a coach. Again, like I said, the Panthers have had a lead in 17 games, so one thing you can say, the Panthers should be good. You don't get the lead in 17 games and suck unless you're Matt Rule.
And so far, their offenses with Matt Rule this year, they're the 21st right now. Obviously, it's only 2 games, but still not a good start. 30th last year and then 28th his first year. That's how bad they are in yards a game. That's in yards a game per game.
So I've told Phil, I told Legacy that, you know what, he's a big Sam Darnold fan. So I said, maybe it's not Sam Darnold wasn't the problem last year. Maybe the Sam Darnold has had the worst luck of coaches in NFL history.
I'm starting to, it's definitely that. I mean, he could very well be really bad, but so it's probably both. But
it's probably both. But again, with Matt Rule as the coach, and then Adam Gase, I can't blame Sam Darnold anymore.
Yep.
I just can't.
And especially seeing Baker be just as inefficient.
So, like I said, Baker may not even be a bad quarterback. I think it's just Matt Rule is the reason why these quarterbacks are not performing.
Well, I think it's that, and he's staring down receivers, evidence that he has 7 passes batted down already.
That's a lot.
Yeah, well, I said, it doesn't help that, the Panthers, they'll run the ball, then throw it 15 straight times, then run the ball again. It makes it really easy for the defense to know what you're doing.
But I love it, so and I want him to keep the streak going. If they lose another game, they will have 10 straight losses, which is the same amount of wins as he's had since he's been to Carolina.
Like I said, nothing made me happier for them to get a number 1 pick and fire Matt Rule.
But yeah, the only good thing was it was to the Giants, so Daniel Jones is now 2-0.
It's abysmal. Just thinking about the Panthers make me angry. I will be hate watching them for the rest of the season.
Yeah, season's done already.
One of the things that I brought up with people when they kept saying, "Oh, well, Baker's going to Panthers," I'm like, I brought up was, one, the Browns line is significantly better than the Panthers line, so I don't know why people thought Baker was going to be that much better.
The Panthers line at least played well enough.
There's also the incompetency in coaching. While everybody clowns on the Browns coaching, I'm like, have you seen Matt Rule? So I don't know why there was this Baker's going to be better, or Baker's I'm like, no, Cleveland was a pretty good situation for him. Talk about the other side real quick. New York Giants 2-0, tied for the lead in the division. Also, their defense is looking pretty good. Their offense, I would say, didn't look great, but it moved the ball when it needed to down the stretch, which is something that I think keeps them in contention. And to be kind of honest with you guys, I kind of feel right about my Giants pick again because I don't think there's that many great teams. I think 9 wins get you in the playoffs. That means they have these 6 or 7 more games to get into the playoffs. And their schedule, I'm like, you can definitely do it. I don't think there's that many great teams in the NFC or AFC. There's a lot of teams I'm really skeptical about.
Well, so this game highlighted the difference in what a good coach looks like and a bad coach because the Panthers, I think, are way more talented than the Giants, and yet somehow they can't pull off the win. While Brian DeBall is doing a pretty good job of getting the Giants to where they better than where they were last year.
I
As long
think
as
so.
Daniel Jones keeps winning, I'm happy.
Let's go into another game. We're going to hit probably the most exciting game and the craziest game, Baltimore Ravens versus the Miami Dolphins. What a comeback. Tua Tagovailoa, 6 touchdowns, plus 450 yards. I think is the 6th quarterback to ever do that.
Too is like all the haters out there, you owe me an apology.
No, he was really good. I mean, with the weapons he has, it's hard not to be good. But this was, of course, exceptionally good.
Down 21 in the fourth and leads a comeback victory. Really impressive. And he looked good. He had a good deep ball to Tyreek for a touchdown. He pretty much did everything people say he couldn't do in that game. Then you got Lamar, who's like putting up an MVP type game and still losing.
Yeah, I mean, you can see why they really went all in for Tyreek Hill as well. Felt that was a big difference maker of having that other guy.
Money well spent so far.
You have the fastest 1-2 combo. Jalen Waddle's a speedster, but having Tyreek Hill that you're also having to worry about, that's going to be a problem for several teams. Their upgrades to the line, the coach has done well. Good job for the rookie coach. Now 2-0.
Nah, the Ravens definitely need J.K. Dobbins or Gus Edwards back immediately because the run game has been pretty bad. Besides Lamar,
Yes.
of course.
Kenyon Drake and Mike Davis were combined 11 carries, 15 yards, 12 yards.
That's gross.
I mean, Lamar's pretty much carrying this team right now, so his contract situation is going to be looking pretty good.
Right? Yeah.
next year.
Ravens made a mistake not signing him. The price probably went up.
Also, Lamar was smart betting on himself. He's proven it. Look, the Ravens don't want to pay him. The Panthers might. Just give me some false hope.
Dude, if we stop. It won't happen.
There was chatter last week that Lamar would be going to Miami, but I think after this performance, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, he's gonna have to throw like 6 picks in the game.
Yeah.
I mean, it was probably the most exciting regular season game in like the past couple years.
And now
Yeah.
people think the Dolphins could be a real problem now.
I mean, if Tua's going to be posting, I mean, of course he's not going to do this every game, but if he gets anywhere close every game, I mean, you're talking about 5,000 yards, 40 touchdowns.
Well, the Dolphins look like a playoff team. I don't think they can compete with the Chiefs or the Bills yet, but I think other than that, the Dolphins feel like they're like the gatekeeper for that last couple of playoff spots. Like, you gotta be better than us to get that playoff wild card spot. I just don't see them beating the Bills yet.
Well, they play this week.
I can see them beating the Bills like once. I can see that. But I'm looking forward to that game then.
We're gonna go into the other comeback game, the Browns.
I mean, is Joe Flacco back?
No, he's not. But it's the pressure that one of the better games this week was Browns versus Jets.
Yeah, I would not have guessed that. If you would have bet me money, I would have taken that.
And the fact they're up by 13. A lot of people said Nick Chubb shouldn't have gotten the touchdown and should have taken a knee.
Yeah.
Could have ran the clock out. But, like, to be fair to Nick Chubb, which, yes, but to be fair, you were going to go up by what you think is 14 points. How's he supposed to know the kicker's going to miss and then the defense is going to allow 2 touchdowns in, like, 3 minutes? I don't really blame him for not taking the knee of, like, yeah, you're going to get 14 points. Like, put that game away.
It'd be too tempting for me not to score a touchdown.
Yeah.
I don't blame him for not taking the knee because it's like, how incompetent did you have to be to lose that game? It's not like they were just going to go up by 7. If he was just going to go up by 7, then maybe I'll be like, yeah, I'll probably take the knee next time. But, like, you're going up by 14, what you thought, because, you think your kicker's making the extra point. Like, are you really saying, oh, okay, my kicker's going to miss the extra point, Then we're gonna allow the first play, just leave Corey Davis wide open, then give up the onside kick.
And who had Joe Flacco being third in the league in passing yards after 2 weeks? I didn't.
He's
Yeah.
also thrown it over 100 times too. Like
Like,
they don't care that
100.
he's 37. They're like, we're using that arm.
Yeah, we're gonna grind that. We're gonna grind you bone to bone. That's what we're gonna do.
Yeah, shout out to the Jets.
For Browns fan, this one's gonna hurt because like going 2-0 without Deshaun Watson would have been
Mhm.
like really good for them. But maybe that one game could potentially hurt them down the line in terms of division. Because this
To
division
that
is
point,
wide.
they're-
This division is wide open, honestly. With all the besides, I mean, like,
They're probably thinking like,
oh no, I was gonna say just because they're all the teams like they're questionable. Like, yeah, I mean, even the Ravens because they blew a lead.
4 or 5 more games, we got Deshaun Watson back down the stretch. I mean, we're right in playoff contention, and you're riding it pretty high of like who expected the Browns to be there. So that really would have been something if you win that game, because especially it's not you just lost it, the way you lost it as well. It's a huge hit.
I'll say, welcome, honey. You missed the Panthers talk.
Would you like to get your little? We'll give you a few seconds if you'd like to get in a few Matt Rule swipes.
Just
Yeah,
fire
go
this man
ahead.
for the love of God. Well, actually, no. Keep him there for the whole season so I can see how like historically bad he is.
Yeah, dude. Because if they win like only 1 or 2 games, oh man, that'd be nice. He'll be right near the bottom.
He'd be like the second worst Panthers coach of all time.
But he's second worst. He'd be the worst.
He's the worst. He's the worst already.
Yes.
He's
already is
already
worse. He already
he's
is worse.
already the worst.
George Seifert had like a 30-something% win percentage. My man's at 28 right now.
Matt Rule is at 28. Yeah, 33. Yeah, he would be the worst.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Yeah,
And you looked at the schedule. Where are they getting the wins at?
Yeah, I know. Right, the schedule's the only wins I see is maybe the Falcons. That's it.
Let's go ahead to the Cardinals game, the Raiders versus the Cardinals. That was quite the ending, boys. Up by
Yeah.
20. Raiders up by 20.
It felt like the Raiders intentionally gave that game away.
Yeah, somebody in the Raiders had money. They bet.
I mean, how do you let a quarterback get a 20-second scramble?
And it's like even though they won, I'm still not convinced the Cardinals are good.
No, they're not good. They're not.
Like I said, Call of Duty hasn't fully released yet, so
I just think Cliff Kingsbury like has anyone failed up besides him and like Matt Rule? You know, like both of them definition of failing up.
If you're a Raiders fan, you should be panicking about your season. It
Yep.
could be over already because
I mean, they should have because I mean they're already the worst team in that division.
I know, but I'm saying you can't afford to give any game away. You can't. You just simply
and
can't.
they did. Well, Derek Carr needs to be throwing it to Devontae Adams more. You know, and how's Hunter
In the
how's
first 10 to
Hunter
13
Renfro
point
out
time.
targeting? But Matt Collins and Hunter Renfro both have more targets than Devontae Adams. Disgusting.
Well, and like you were up 20-0. Cardinals defense is not that good, and you just lots of question marks there. So that's how I feel.
Yeah, I'm
And
not
that's why I
impressed.
also did not have him making playoffs.
No, I mean, I definitely had them at bottom of the list of that division.
Go to the Denver game.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
so
it's-
like you pay all this money for the quarterback and you still can't put points on the board somehow.
I mean, this is what
Yeah, I
happens
don't
if you let
understand
Russ
this
cook.
Denver offense.
But they have
Like a
two
team with a quote elite quarterback should be scoring more than 16 points.
top-notch receivers, and Javonte Williams is up becoming running back, and then you got Melvin
Mhm.
Gordon, who's established already. So I mean,
Yeah.
like, what's not clicking? Like, is it just like I know the line was struggling, but you still have all these elite options, and you still can barely put points on.
I mean, maybe Pete Carroll was smart. He's like, yeah, Russell Wilson's cooked.
I mean, I'll give it a little more time, but it's not looking good so
Yeah,
far. The
yeah,
offense
man.
looks so basic, so generic, nothing really, and there's no window dressing really. And the coach has made so many questionable decisions already just in 2 games. Oh, Denver's red zone offense has been terrible. I think they've been to I think they're like 1 touchdown 5 out of 5 or 6 trips.
Let's fucking get Red Zone. They might be like as bad as the Panthers.
Like scoring only 60 points against the Texans, that's atrocious. Like the
That's fine.
Texans, I mean, like the Texans, they're playing better than I thought they would the first 2 games.
They've been competitive.
Yeah, they've been competitive. I mean, I guess that's all you can really say about them.
Step up.
If you're a Texan, well, I mean, if you're a Texans fan, you're like, you know they're gonna have a really bad year. So
If you want to know, Denver and Seattle are the only 2 teams not to score in the score a touchdown in the red zone this year.
We're gonna go into another game. We're gonna go ahead into the team that everybody kept telling me is gonna be better because they got Matt Ryan, but Again, didn't know how that was an upgrade. The Colts.
Okay, all right. So I think we can officially say that the Colts can't blame Carson Wentz anymore for last year.
No.
They'll find a way.
Yeah, if you're a Colts fan, you should absolutely be panicking right now.
Yeah, well, I mean, I understand they didn't have any receivers for this game, pretty much, but like, why did they only run the ball?
Yeah,
you know,
so
you don't
you got
have any receivers.
And I'm sorry if you think Matt Lyons as elite as you say he is, then he should be able to at least elevate this putrid offense to at least a touchdown.
Against Jacksonville, too. Jacksonville.
I mean, the Colts can really only go up from here, but I mean, their first 2 games of the year were Jacksonville and
Houston.
Houston, and so you would think as a Colts fan, but that's 2-0. That's 2 dubs right there off the bat.
Well, I mean, they're about to go 0-2-1, so.
Right, and because they play the Chiefs next week, so that's going to be a rough one for them. But the only thing that, I mean, if they were in any of they are in the worst division in football this year.
Yeah, this is.
So they still have a shot to
Wide open.
recover because the top 2 teams, Colts and Titans, are they're looking like the worst 2 teams in the division this year.
Yeah, Titans are looking real bad.
All right,
Titans
I
suck.
got a prognosis about both these coaches. Frank Wright, your job might be in a little bit of trouble right now,
It should be.
especially if you don't
It's
make
hot.
playoffs.
It's hot.
Yeah.
Because the Wentz experiment didn't work. Granted, wasn't on you, and now this Matt Ryan experiment's not working. Now I think a lot of us are
one's failing
starting.
already.
I mean, it's like
The fact
since
that-
Andrew Luck retired, I mean, they just had retread at quarterback. It's like,
Yeah.
like these
Okay.
old guys.
The only one that worked out was Phillip Rivers because they at least went to the playoffs.
The other thing is, we're now with the way Doug Peterson has been going, and looks like the Jags was really just had an incompetent coach that did not want to be there and had no clue. And these Jag team, honestly, looks like they might actually win this division. They're not looking like they might win this division because that offense is actually moving the
Yeah, they're
ball
looking
and
pretty
looking
good.
pretty
Yeah,
competent.
Dougie
Trevor
P,
Lawrence
baby.
is looking good. Christian Kirk's not looking like the $80 million signing, but still looking like
He's
60
looking
or
really
50.
good.
He's looking really
So,
good.
you know, he's doing pretty well. The offense is doing well. James Robinson's playing well. Like, it's now like, you know, Frank Reich, maybe you just got lucky that you were on the Eagles and really it was Doug Peterson really pulling the strings and you ended up looking like a genius and got a job because of that guy.
That's what it was
The other
looking like.
thing, really got to say this, and I've been holding this in about the Colts franchise. Are we sure the Colts franchise is actually a competent franchise?
No.
And this is why I'm saying that. I feel Manning is the more and more we've gotten with it, I'm questioning a lot of their decisions post Manning. And fuck, what did they never get him? A line or a running back? We all knew he needed a line. We all knew he needed a running back. They never drafted him. Since Manning, they've made a bunch of stupid decisions. Are we really sure they were a good franchise to begin with? Because I don't anymore. Like, they've made a bunch of weird choices that I'm like, maybe Manning carried that franchise a little more than we gave him credit for. And Tony Dungy were kind of shielding a lot.
Yeah, I definitely think the Colts are trying to rest on the laurels, having 2 generational quarterbacks, only 1 Super Bowl to show for it.
So as the season is going south, if it keeps going south, then a lot of people in the media are going to eat crow because all I ever hear about is how smart the Colts are, how smart Chris Ballard is, how great of an owner Jim Irsay is. And if this fails, I mean, you're talking about a whole regime change there. So there's going to be a lot of people saying, well, maybe this organization wasn't as smart as we thought they were.
Like, if you're a Jags fan, you're probably excited because now you've had like 2 decent games in a row. So I mean, like, you know, for a poverty franchise, hey, you're doing pretty well.
Yeah, I'd be way more excited to be a Jags fan than a Panthers fan right now.
You know, I would say there's some finally might be the time, Jags fans. Maybe a little early, but you know, maybe. Next game we're gonna go into, we're gonna go into some kind of boring games. Steelers versus Patriots. Just more.
Defense.
It was just
defense.
that's pretty much.
I'm thinking like this game is just established that Kenny Pickett needs to start immediately.
Yeah, and it's no matter who's in charge, no matter who the quarterback is, Patriots always collect the dub against Pittsburgh.
Yep.
It was just
Shout out
necessary.
Nelson Aguilar, caught a long touchdown.
He had a good game. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
6 catches,
He didn't
110
drop
yards and a touchdown. That's like probably his best game ever. I don't know.
Didn't let it slip through
Yeah,
his fingers.
this week I was like, yeah, I'm still questioning the Patriots offense, but I mean they're going against one of the most incompetent quarterbacks that's in the league. So I was like, am I really scared the Steelers are going to put up points? No, not really. So Patriots are probably going to get enough to squeak by.
Yeah, 2 games from Trubisky, under 200 yards passing, under an 80 rating both games. With this defense, I mean, in the receiving group is not bad at all too. So he's very disappointing. I know Mike Tomlin said he wasn't going to start Kenny Pickett this season, but Trubisky's going to force him to force the call of that
Yeah.
bluff there.
Well, but they have way too many guys. That team, like offensively, besides our offensive line, they have great weapons.
Look, I have no doubt that Mike Tomlin can still coach Trubisky to a winning record, but it's gonna be ugly.
Yeah, when you have a perfectly good alternative, like I don't understand why not pull the trigger, because you know you're gonna get Mitch Trubisky. You're not gonna get much.
I'm wondering, is it like a confidence thing if he's just like, let's wait, he knows they're not making playoffs this year. Let's let Trubisky kind of suck more and then like have Pickett come in. How well he does doesn't matter at all. You're not competing, you're not putting too much on him at a young age. Because that's also a big thing is quarterback confidence. Just
Yeah,
a
they
theory,
could.
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
I don't think Kenny Pickett lacks confidence. He's not Sam Darnold, you know.
Bro, why you just on my boy? He's literally on the bench, man. He ain't even playing.
Yeah, where he
for
belongs.
Like, you still have to throw in the digs, all right? Why you got to throw in the
Yeah.
digs?
Yeah,
My dudes is clearly showing it wasn't just him last year. It was
I never said it was
clearly.
just him, but I'm just saying he's failed everywhere he went.
Sorry, give him the 2 worst coaches of all time. I'm sorry he
All time.
couldn't make up for their incompetence. Yeah, Adam Gase, Matt Rule, some of the worst coaches.
Look,
They're there.
Adam Gase. Look,
They're in the
Adam Gase,
conversation.
I would kill to have Adam Gase.
You would.
You probably would right now, yeah.
Over Matt Rule. What's Adam Gase's 1%?
But the fact
Look it
you
up.
would even question, fact you would even question, and
Yeah,
that would pop in your mind, like,
Gase
would Adam
was
Gase
40,
be that much
40%.
worse? Would it?
Oh my God, he's 12% higher. I mean, damn.
40%. He at least he had one winning season, and so he had a 40,
I mean,
basically a 48% win percentage in Miami, but 28 in the Jets.
oof.
If you want to,
So
that
we're
tells you how
Adam Gase Jets territory here.
Yeah,
Oof.
that just tells you how down bad y'all are. That the fact that
Yep.
Adam Gase, get excited for that
Yeah.
prospect. Of being coaching it.
All right, we're going to go into another game. We're going to go into the Seahawks versus 49ers.
Poor Trey
Poor
Lance.
Trey
Poor
Lance.
Trey Lance.
Poor Trey Lance, but I think for this season the Niners got better.
It's better for Niners, yeah.
Yep.
I think it's better for Trey Lance as well. I'm thinking that might have saved him because he was not looking good.
Well, I mean,
Okay.
it's hard to say. I don't know. It's hard to say.
Yeah,
'Cause
'cause-
one game he played
yeah.
in monsoon.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's hard to evaluate him off of that. And then he played, like a quarter of the next game. I mean, it's so hard to tell.
3 passes and 3 runs. So yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean,
Yeah.
some people are, and I don't want to, like, write people off after a bad first year. I mean, look
Yeah.
at Josh Allen.
Yeah, Josh Allen's first 2 years weren't that great.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as you show progress, and,
I will say in that offense, in a Shanahan offense, again, there's still a lot of time, but I say where it might have helped him is the fact that buys him another year. And if he had a bit like, now he has another year to rest. Now they have another year to evaluate everything. I feel there's a reason they were running him a lot because I think they know he wasn't as great as the passers they need to. Granted, I will
Yeah, he's
also
not
say
that
he hasn't
accurate.
had he didn't have George Kittle or anything, so that does hurt him a lot, not having that reliable tight end. Also with this team is expected to win because Jimmy G, so it's kind of like, well, if you can't even win with this team, you're going to be in trouble. Cause
Yeah.
Also, Trey Lance, where the bar set hires, remember, he was the 3rd pick, and they traded
And they
a
traded a
lot for him. So that's
I do
also your
think
bar
them
hire.
keeping
You can't just be decent because it's like, why don't you just keep Jimmy G if you're decent and can get him plowed? You need to be the franchise guy. So
Now I do say
So,
maybe
yeah.
them keeping Jimmy G might affect his confidence a little bit.
if you're going to make an example quarterback, you can't. But if they have below you, then you're going to make it.
Sam Darnold, his confidence is gone.
Another shot.
Dang, why is he catching all these strays?
yeah, like I don't know why. He's not on the team. All right, he's not
He is on the
playing.
team.
Stop blaming. Stop blaming him. He's just leave him alone.
Yeah,
He's like over there in the
No.
corner and he's still taking shots. Like he did nothing here.
leave him
Look,
alone.
He did nothing.
Look, I had to watch him so much last year. It's just it's aggravating.
Because yeah, this year's a whole lot better. I'm sorry, you're 0-2. He had you 3-0 at this point last year.
Mhm.
Okay, so lay off my boy. All
That's
right.
not even.
And don't even tell me, oh, the schedule. Nah, they didn't play that great of teams. That they should have won. So don't even tell me that. All right. He had you 3-0 at this point last year. He had you 2-0. You were at least happy about the Panthers.
Tell me how he finished.
The
Hey,
finish was-
At least you had some bright spots last year. This year you're just in misery.
spots?
Right now, all you are is misery.
Last year was misery.
You taking shots at him? Like, what do you do? Like, what? What? Like, did he make fun of you or something?
He
Like, I
hurt
don't
my
get the point.
eyeballs. That's what he did. He hurt my eyeballs.
Let it go. He's in a Matt
Never.
Rule system. But let's talk about this game that could have been a little bit interesting, but of course, the Falcons could have pulled it off. Falcons versus Rams.
Yeah, the Falcons were finally trying to say, hey, look, it's someone else's turn to choke. And they just couldn't complete it.
Matt Stafford's turnovers are starting to become a problem.
It's like problem for real life.
yeah, yeah. Because I mean, they allowed the offense and Matt Ryan throwing turnovers allowed the Falcons to come back. They outscored in the fourth, 17-3. So I mean, this close of a game with the Falcons, not too good.
I mean, yeah, 4 touchdowns, 5 picks so far this year. I told y'all Matt Stafford wasn't always cracked up to be.
Oh no, he's fine. He's just fine. He'll
I've been
work
telling
things out.
Man, who's literally won the Super Bowl by best.
Anyone could have won. Even Sam Darnold.
Well, don't even.
Another game, and Cam Akers still didn't look good. Like I don't know what's going on with him.
At 15
Not
carries,
good.
44 yards.
Which again, are they suffering from a Super Bowl high of like people forget how hard it is to go? There's a reason New England was the last team to go back to back. We'll go into the next game I'm looking at. Let's go into the what is wrong with the Bengals right now.
I mean, you invest all that money,
Hell,
all that money to be worse.
There is some good things. I would say I'm not like other teams should be panicked. Why I'm not panicked on that team yet. We do have to remember Joe Burrow did not play quite a bit did not play preseason because he had that injury, and I think also timing is off because you know how big it is with a lot, especially you got a new line trying to get timing down. Last year they also had a slower start. They didn't have this slow of a start, but they had a slower start. Their defense does look pretty good. Like I know people are like, "Oh, Cooper Rush did that well." The defense, like he did well for like one quarter. He didn't really kill him the whole game. So I feel like
Not
their
just
offense
as
will
bad.
click sooner or later. And yeah, the offense will click sooner or later. T. Higgins getting hurt last week hurt him. This week, they'll get there.
Hey, Max, that's Skip Bayless say, Cooper Rush is just as good as Dak, so, Cowboys might be winning that division.
We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
Maybe Skip finally got something right.
No.
I know. I know he did. Well, no, it looks good as that Cowboys defense. That's going to keep them in
Yeah,
games
it
no matter how
does.
long
Yeah,
Dak's
it
out.
does.
yeah, the defense
Michael
was good.
Parsons.
Very much. My part, yeah. Yeah, he's
And
gone.
Trayvon Diggs, I mean, he did great coverage on Jamar Chase, and because last year Trayvon Diggs couldn't cover anybody. If he
Yeah.
didn't pick it off, he was getting burnt. So this year, this week, he legitimately neutralized Jamar Chase.
He heard everybody talking all day. He's like, all right, fine, guess I'll try to do that now.
Well, also, the one question I did have with the Bengals game plan, like, I get you have Joe Burrow, but do you realize a reason? Like, yeah, the game was closer with Buccaneers, but kind of Buccaneers had that game in hand. They were running the ball on the Cowboys. After a while, Buccaneers started running the ball because they realized that pass rush is really good. You can run on Dallas. And I felt they kind of abandoned that a couple times when they didn't exactly need to. But we're going to go into another offense that struggled but still pulled the game out. We're going to go to Bucks versus Saints.
Yep, Tom Brady's first win against the Saints. Look, maybe that his marriage is really affecting him more than he's letting on.
He looks rough, man. That picture that was going around the internet.
Yeah.
He
Yeah,
looks
finally got
tired.
there.
I'm telling you, guys, him and Giselle keep having arguments. It's really impacting him.
Dude, I know that meme. Oh my god, it's so awesome. You can use it in so many situations.
Hey, leave
Like
my boy alone.
watching the Panthers play.
I think again, just Joe
Being
Burrow,
100 years old.
He was gone for 11 days. He's still not on. His line was hurt. He's cadence with everybody. The offense, if people remember, Chris Godwin and Julio Jones are both out this week. Next, we're out the last game. Next week, they're coming into no Mike Evans. So the offense is going to look shaky.
They're look at that. They're look at that defense is bad.
So
The
good.
defense, which is good because defense is healthy this year, which is nice because last year their secondary got banged up. Carlton Davis, Winfield, they're looking on point, so the defense can carry them enough, and Brady can do enough to win the game. I think sooner or later, like the Bengals, they will click. Everything will
Jameis
get
became
together.
Jameis of old and
I'm
3
devastated. I'm devastated
Yeah.
by this news.
Yeah, we knew that was gonna happen sooner
Yeah,
or
but-
later.
Did you hear what Devin White said after the game?
He said he knew they were gonna do. He knew
Yeah.
he knew James was gonna throw some.
There's a reason we got rid of him.
He said, "I knew James would give us a chance for a couple."
Talk your trash. Talk your trash. That is
what
starting to-
Jameis is good at.
We're gonna go into the next game. I wanted to kind of touch on where I felt there's an overreaction one way last week, and now I think the overreaction is going a little bit the other way. The Packers versus the Bears.
The Packers were winning this. No, I mean there was no doubt about it because Aaron Rodgers owns the
Yeah.
Bears. The real interesting thing I found from this game wasn't from the Packers; it was from the Bears.
Mhm.
The Bears attempted 11 passes in a non-weather event game.
And they were down the whole game. Makes
Yeah.
no sense.
So the fact that now there's two things are possible: either there's gross incompetence by the coach, or they don't believe Justin Fields can throw a football.
I think it's both. I mean, look, you still gotta see what you got in the kid. Make him throw 20
Yeah,
times.
seriously.
That's what I'm saying.
Like that's the thing. If you're gonna restrict him, it doesn't do anybody good. You need to see what you have.
It's not like you're really expecting to win that game.
Yeah, man.
Like it's something if you're like in and people are expecting you to win the division, you don't want to throw it away. Like no,
Yeah,
rip the ball. You're good, and the coaches knew you're not getting fired week one. You
Yeah,
won a
well,
big game. You're not getting fired anytime soon.
Yeah, or I understand, if you had like a lead, like you got a couple pick six or kickoff return, you just want to keep it 'cause you don't trust them that much. I understand that, but you were down 24-7 at halftime.
Yeah, I never seen anything like that.
Right.
Not
No.
not since Tim Tebow.
Yeah, so just let's just see what the kid got. You know.
Are we
He's trash.
surprised? Because I think we all saw it from the beginning. This is the Bears. We all kind of knew his career's kind of doomed. And let's look at their first two picks this year: a cornerback and a linebacker. You got your quarterback. You need to surround him with weapons. Either get him a better line, which sucked, that we all knew, or get him a weapon.
Yeah, at least Jaguars like sign receivers. I don't really know what the Bears' game plan was. I think
We're gonna go-
the Bears are sabotaging Justin Fields. I think it feels intentional at this point.
We're going to these next three games. I kind of want to talk about them kind of with each other. Maybe I'm reaching here, and this could be our overreaction, but possibly the three best teams right now we've seen in the NFL at this point:
Uh-huh.
the Bills, the Bills, the Chiefs, and the Eagles.
No,
Possibly
the
the three at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, the only one I don't know can keep it up is the Eagles. The other two, I feel like.
I just want to see. I just want to see the Eagles play a top defense before I give them the flowers.
Super Bowl, baby. Or they could maybe
Like-
not play prime Monday night Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, because like I want to see. I want to see Jalen Hurts play like a Bucks defense and see it. Because if he can, or a Bills defense, if he can beat them, then okay, he's legit.
We'll see. But this is by far the best game Jalen Hurts has ever played.
Yeah,
He
Yeah,
couldn't be
look,
stopped.
I mean he looked good. He looked good.
So it's looking real good for my birds there.
I mean, the only thing I would say is I just don't want him to run so much because he's bound to get injured. How much he runs.
Well, that's okay. They got Gardner Minshew. I mean, they can still make it happen.
repaired. If he has to be on Nick Foles again, so be it.
Dude, I mean, Gardner Minshew can play. I don't care.
Could you
He can
imagine if
play.
that happened again? Like,
Dude, that would be hilarious, dude.
That will be.
And I'd be all for it. And I'd be like, I hope he wears his jorts.
But look, apparently that's the only way the Eagles can win. So fans
I
might be
mean,
trying to potentially hurt the
it's,
starter.
it's quite the unique formula.
So bold.
Do we see that team slowing down somewhat?
Who, Bills?
No, Bills, no.
No,
No,
not unless there's injuries. No.
I mean, they just look scary.
They'll probably have an off week 1 week, and because they won't go undefeated.
They're not gonna. No, they'll lose a game or two.
But I think where the question is going to come from about the Bills, again, is going to be during the bigger games, the playoff games, because we know as great as an offense can look, we've seen all these offenses. We saw it with the Broncos offense. We saw it with that New England offense. Start out the gate destroying everybody. Sooner or later, teams adjust. Things kind of come back down to earth, and they're not destroying everybody.
Well, I
When
think-
they have to get into those grinding games where now it's one or two plays, you were playing deep in the fourth.
I think
Can
what
you
helps
make the
Bills
one or
out-
two plays in that running game?
Well, the Bills, is their defense is just as good as their offense, unlike the other two teams. The Bills, they just got their defense. If the offense lags, the defense probably can win them a couple games just by themselves.
That defense is nasty, dude.
So I mean, Brandon, what was it? Brandon Bean, great job building a roster.
That defense did things to Tannehill he didn't like.
He did not. I mean, I think Jay could speak on it. Tannehill should not be a starting quarterback right now.
Well, I mean, on the Titans, he should. There's no way I would. There's Malik Willis is not.
No, 10 to over the hill. I don't care if he's not ready. Put him in.
Oh my
Jay's like,
God, dude.
it's Tanner over the hill. That's weird, Chris Berman.
Come on, no,
Would
he's
say-
he's done. Man, when he got that contract, man, he turned straight booty.
It was funny watching both the games on Monday night, seeing the one quarterback play a great game and the opposite quarterback just play not even a bad game, just an absolutely dreadful, horrible game.
Horrible game. Allison, yes, Phil. The Chiefs also look really good. The only question is, like I said, when they play like the Bills and all of that, will the loss of Tyreek Hill impact them in those situations?
I mean, it seems like Mahomes doesn't need.
Well, I'm saying if he plays
Yeah.
against the Bills, though, because Tyreek was a huge game changer against the Bills.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know,
I think
elite
the
quarterback can make stuff happen. So
fact that, I think the question, was always going to be for them is once they get to the final and they need that, the fact they're not going to have that 10-second offense anymore, how is that going to affect their team?
And if Justin Herbert can break the Chargers' curse of having a good quarterback, but just somehow can't win games, that'd be great to watch.
I believe in Herbert.
I mean, the man makes some of the best throws I've seen. Like him, Allen, and Mahomes. I mean, that's just good. The AFC is in good hands for at least the next 10, 15 years.
Yep.
Then you got Lamar and all that. So AFC is just dangerous.
Real quick, how we all feel about our playoff predictions? We feel good.
Yeah, I feel
Besides the Colts winning that division, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I had Titans winning it, and that's not
you
good.
should feel confident about that.
I had the Bengals winning their division. That's looking
Nah, I
rough right now.
picked Baltimore.
I
But
say I
But
had the
luckily,
Ravens.
they're only one game. They're one
Yep.
game behind the
I
Ravens.
know.
I had the Ravens. And see what else. I mean, the Bucks. I had them winning their division. Bills,
I
Chiefs.
feel more confident about that team, no matter
I-
how much how
yeah,
bad Brady plays. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't see any.
I mean, that
Yeah.
division is no
the division
contest.
is muff cabbage. I mean, they're gonna win it easy.
There
Right.
was one more game.
Oh, there was one more game.
The Max's boy, the Commanders and the Lions was the only game that
Like,
we need to hit.
I don't know. I
Lions
don't know
is
what
good.
to make of the Commanders. Honestly, like,
The defense is
Well,
trash.
yeah, the defense is going
Yeah.
to be the undoing of that. The offense so far looks fine. It looks
Yeah.
actually pretty good.
Carson
so
Wentz
far.
looks pretty good, minus the few turnovers, but still, I mean, 7 touchdowns, 2 games.
He's tied for first in touchdowns, second in passing yards for the moment. So that part looks good. The running game hasn't looked good, and the defense is maybe even worse than last year. And you don't win many games scoring 30 or allowing 36 points.
Well, at least like that's 2 straight weeks though where they had to claw and to come back. You know, because they were down against the Jags.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
and they almost made it work this time. The defense could get one stop. The offense
Yep.
got it in within
Yeah,
one
every
score.
time the
And
Lions go
Joey
back.
Slye can make an extra point, so when he
Yeah,
missed that-
that made their last possession meaningless.
so-
If you're a Lions fan, you got to be feeling really good. Scoring
Offense is
35,
good.
36 points.
I mean, Dan Campbell is onto something with them. He is. I mean, I don't know what
It's
that
because
is.
Dan Campbell's the leader of men. I mean, he's
Clearly.
yeah.
Look, I love how everyone was making fun of him after the introductory press conference. Now everybody's like, he's actually onto something here.
Nah, he's dude. Who wouldn't want to play for him?
Offense is loaded, and when Jameson Williams comes back,
Mhm.
Offensive
Really-
line's great. I mean, that offense. They just work on their defense. That team's the easy play.
I mean, DeAndre Swift caught a touchdown. I mean, he caught the ball, fell
That's-
down, and still scored a touchdown.
3rd and 15.
That rookie they got, Aiden Hutchinson, he looks like a monster.
He's a beast.
Stud.
Yeah, that defense. I mean, that's supposed to be Ron Rivera's bread and butter is defense, and that is just.
Jack Del Rio will be getting fired at some point.
Yep.
He
Mhm.
needs to be fired last week. I think Carson Winston's probably gonna put up career high in touchdowns and yards and all that. I mean,
I
he's
mean,
looking.
This is by far the best receiving group he's ever played with, by far.
To be fair, also his the owner is Dan Snyder. So,
Yeah, that's just true.
yeah.
Also, as of now, it looks like Washington can feel comfortable with their quarterback for the next couple of years. All it
See.
needs is defense.
So that's our recap for NFL Week 2. Let us know your thoughts, your opinions. If you got any views, maybe some takes. Keep watching, keep liking. Let us know what you all want. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm Legacy.
And I'm Max.
I'm Bobby.
Vitamin J.
Till next time.